Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Investing in Yourself series here on the Chasing Goalposts podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Cosgrove, and I'm joined by my co-host, Randy Barker. Now, today, Randy, I believe we're talking about something that I can say I struggle with personally, and that is present moment awareness. I'm sure my wife can relate and give you some feedback on that as well. So why don't we start off by asking the question, what do you mean by present moment awareness?
And I want to even just normalize it again, Dustin. I think we're all struggling with present moment awareness in today's world. So, welcome to the club is what I usually tell people when we talk about this. And yeah, present moment awareness is I like to define it as being present in the moment, right? The here, then, now, and really being present of what's happening in our mind and our body and the world around us in this present moment. And like you said, that may sound really simple, but that is more challenging in today's world than ever.
So what do you think are the main benefits of being present in the moment?
There is, there's so many different benefits, but I think the first thing is gaining self-awareness, right? Of being aware of what we're doing, being aware of what we're thinking, being aware of what we're experiencing, and being aware of what's right in front of us. So I think those are some of the things I always like to talk about. But I think being in the present moment, there's so many other things. It's about recognizing the good, right? So if we're in the present moment, we see what's in front of us, we could benefit from the good. Even if it's difficult, it's staying in the present moment, instead of distracting ourselves or avoiding it, we're able to work through that. So that's the other thing. I think present moment awareness allows us to connect to ourselves. It allows us to connect with others, which we're doing less and less of in today's world. It allows us to see things with clarity, right? So I think that's the other thing is many times if we're in the past or we're in the future, we're not seeing things in clarity with what's right in front of us. And I think the other thing about, I think from present moment awareness is it is absolutely foundational for learning. And I think it's absolutely foundational to performing anything at a very high level. So I think those are some of the benefits, and there's many, many more.
So maybe just let me ask you a question on that. I'm intrigued here. When people think present moment awareness, they think about they're in the presence of someone else, and obviously they're not listening to them and they're not hearing them, right? We can all kind of relate to that. But is there a piece of this present moment awareness where we distract ourselves? And you and I have talked about this before when we're driving in the car, we're driving to work. A lot of times I will always have a podcast on, the radio on, an audio book on. But when you turn those off and you sit in silence the entire ride home, let's just say it's 30 minutes, your mind starts to wander, drift, kind of dig in a little bit. Is that also part of present moment awareness?
Yeah. I mean, the brain is kind of wired to always be doing, and present moment awareness is what I like to say is at times is just being. And what tends to happen for us is that if we're in the present moment at times, that feels very uncomfortable, just being, in this moment. And the mind doesn't like that. It likes to tend to go to the past, right? The two places that it goes, if it's not in the present moment, is the past. And the thing about the past is that no matter how much we focus on it, we can't change it. The other place that our mind loves to go to is the future, of trying to predict what could happen or prevent things from happening that we don't want. And the problem with that is that we're not there. We don't have control over that. The one thing about the present moment is the only thing that we do have control over is the here and the now.
It's a good way to put it. I never really thought about it that way. So the one thing we have control of is the here and now.
And the one thing that I will say, Dustin, is research is showing is that our focus and our attention is decreasing. This research is showing is the ability to really focus our attention or to be just present with ourselves is decreasing. And from my perspective, I think there's lots of negative consequences that come with that.
Well, let me go out on a limb here and for those of you that are listening to the audio version, you can't see this, but for those on the video, you can. I'm going to guess this little cell phone here that I'm holding up in my hand probably is one of the biggest challenges for present moment awareness with social media. And obviously, as we're kind of in the heat of the election season here in the US, I got to assume all of this contributes to the challenges of staying in the present moment. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of good research that shows that, and I'm not here to, you know, bash social media or technology. There's a lot of wonderful things about it, right? We're experiencing that right now. But what we do know is it definitely has taken us out of the present moment. I mean, the thing is that they've hired the best people in the world that have studied our brains and have really hacked that. And by stealing our attention, that is how they make money, right? So the more that we're distracted, the more that we're spending online mindlessly, that is their goal. So I mean, it's one of these things that distracts us from many different things. One I think is emotions, right? Well, I feel bored. Well, I don't have to feel bored anymore, right? I feel anxious. Well, I don't, I could distract myself from those things, right? So it's this wonderful distractor that takes us out of these things in the present moment, which again we know that decreases our well-being on many levels. The research has shown is no one feels better after being on Facebook for an hour, right? That is the reality. Is research has continued to show that. So we know that people are spending more and more time on social media, which is taking us out in this present moment. And what that does is it doesn't allow us to focus our attention on things that we could really be enhancing and improving in today's world.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit because I mean, obviously, building skills, and this would be a skill, the skill of present moment awareness or self awareness. How do we practice it?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things that I like to teach to help with present moment awareness is a term called mindfulness. And people that have heard me talk, on this pod or outside of the pod, I mean, this is an area that I've spent a lot of my professional career studying and teaching people. And mindfulness is that, I kind of define it as present moment awareness. So the ability to just really, again, being aware of what's happening in our mind and our body and the world around us. And when the mind wanders, which it will, because that's what the mind does, mindfulness is really about, with that attitude of non-judgmental kindness, bringing it back to the present moment over and over again. That is the key. And every time we do that, we're flexing the mindfulness muscle. The mind wanders, we bring it back. The mind wanders, we bring it back. And we can do that over and over again.
So, Randy, for us in the audience here, what's the key takeaway here from this session, if there was one?
Well, yeah. When we talk about present moment awareness, I believe it's the ultimate currency. It is the one area that we really need to be working on because there's so many benefits, and it is really foundational to learning, right? To be in the present moment. And I think anyone that's wanting to perform at something at a very, very high level, present moment awareness is the key.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that. I can still remember the magnet on my mom and dad's fridge back in the day that said, yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. So we're going to leave on that note. And again, anything else, Randy, before we wind things down?
Again, I'll always go back is these are these skills that require practice, everyone.
All right. Appreciate that. And again, for the audience, just a reminder, all of our disclaimers can be accessed via our website at www.chasinggoalpost.com/disclaimers. Randy, we're going to wind this one down. This is Investing in Yourself on Present Moment Awareness, number 5. We'll see you in a few weeks for the next session here, everyone.